It is time now for a full check of the forecast. Meteorologist Juan Acuna is here. And I asked you earlier, some people may not have heard the answer though. How's the forecast looking for the fireworks tonight?
For the Mayor's New Year's Eve Big Bang celebration, I think a lot of this activity is going to be gone by then. We'll look for right about the noon hour for most of this to move on out. But right now we're dealing with it here. We have the 3D live radar scanning the skies. And the good news is that a lot of this activity is not severe. It can get heavy at times, especially under the intense thunderstorms. It can get some heavy downpours. Right now we have some additional activity just around Orange Grove and north of Alice. In Jim Wells County, and then we have another batch that has moved into B County, southern B County, that is all moving up to the north at this time, all associated with an upper level low that's continuing to push across the region as well. Don't worry, Greg is fine as we take a look at what we have going on here. So let's look a little bit closer. Let's look in the 3D mode here. Usually when these are towering up, again, when we go about 40,000–50,000 feet up in the air, that's when we see the possibility for some large, at least pea-sized hail. But these storms are not very high up. They're only going to about 20,000 to 30,000 feet, so the opportunity for some hail is not great. But still, they can have some heavy downpours at times. Again, this is out around Orange Grove and just pushing near San Diego as well. And just to the west of the Choke Canyon Reservoir, we have some additional activity. And north of Mathis and Lake Corpus Christi, we see it there. Over on the coastal areas, just north of Ingleside by the bay, out around the Rockport area, moving towards Bayside, we have some additional activity, and off near the Victoria Crossroads as well. Even the inland parts of the coastal bend just south of Falfurria. So you have a little bit of some height going on there, but still I think it needs a ways to go before we worry about some hail. But again, could see some intense rainfall activity with that particular cell. But as we zoom on out and look a little bit closely here, again, all this activity going to continue moving up to the north for the next couple of hours, and we'll be watching it closely as well. Officially out at the airport, we're at 1.09 inches of rain. That is a plus, some very good news for us here, but it is leading to some flooding across some of the roads in the city. So use caution and don't go around any barricades. If you see the road completely flooded, you don't want to drive through that. Almost 0.6 of an inch of rain off in Ingleside, over ½ an inch out at the Naval Air Station, 0.3 in Rockport, and our inland parts of the communities are going a few hundredths to maybe a couple of tenths of an inch of rain. Of course, rainfall is still ongoing at this time. Moving forward here, the current conditions right now, we're at 50 degrees, a whole lot cooler. Again, we're only going to top out into the upper 50s to low 60s later on this afternoon, some 20 degrees below what we saw yesterday. We managed to achieve 80 degrees yesterday officially. And it's still pretty windy out there with the northerly component 10 to 20 miles an hour. And of course, a lot of our locations are recording the rainfall and the thunderstorm activity. Notice it's 48 off in Alice, 56 in Port Aransas, and 52 over into the Kingsville region as well. So we'll hold on to the cloud coverage, some showers and storms up until about noon. Then the wind is going to take over. We'll still see the winds 20 to 30 miles an hour for today. And then by tonight, we're going to be heading into the upper 30s to maybe some low 40s over the region. But the good news is that the wind finally begins to relax on Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well, going to about 7 to 14 on Friday, 5 to 10 as we head on into the weekend. High tides over at Bob Hall Pier, 7:09 later on this evening, 6:50 out at the Port Aransas Jetty, and they've already occurred at the Nueces Bay and Packery Channel. Wind advisories in place, gale warnings for the bays, offshore waters, small craft advisories. Boaters and mariners, it's just not a good time to be off in the water right now. Big mess up to the north in the central and northern parts of the state. Lots of snow, a wintry mix over in West Texas of the Permian Basin. And as we look at the cloud rain forecast here, we'll deal with this to about 11 o'clock, and then all that activity begins to push on out of the region. So the Mayor's New Year's Eve Big Bang celebration looks like this. Beginning at 7, we'll be at 50 degrees and into the 40s by 8, 9, and 10 o'clock. By the midnight hour, we'll look for those temperatures in the lower 40s, feeling like the upper 30s across the region. 7-day forecast looks like this. Better conditions over the weekend, cool and sunny. Great.
All right, thank you, Juan. Meanwhile, the FCC taking